What up, what up, what up? All right, welcome back to another episode of the Extreme Lifestyle Living Podcast. I am so excited to have you guys on here today because I want to talk about uncertainty and a couple mindset and perspective shifts around it. Then I want to give you 2 actionable items that are my pieces of feedback in terms of what you should do to make sure that you look at uncertainty this way, and the 2 pieces of actionable items to make sure that you use them to change your life with uncertainty. Because the reason why I want to talk about uncertainty is because I want to talk about how it affects our lives. And it's a common feeling that we all experience at some point in our lives. And whether it's about our career, whether it's with our schooling, whether it's with our relationships, or whether it's just us making big life decisions, uncertainty is always around, right? It can make us feel lost. It can make us feel insecure. It can make us feel all kinds of different types of mental health emotions. And it can really make us spiral, So I want to discuss how we can use certainty as a motivation and how we can use it when we're struggling. So let's fucking dive in. Now, before I dive into this, I really want to just say a big, massive thank you to every single person that has participated and even shared, talked to, or engaged with my Easter giveaway challenge. It has been an unreal last 16 months of my fucking life. I have retired myself from the 9 to 5. Completely registered my business, completely financially freed myself, not only myself, but Emma as well. Like, we got into opportunities where she's working as well. And literally, I made a post a while ago, and I won't get off into a big tangent about it, but I got off onto a post, and it was like, I said, it can be literally as good as you want it to be. And I fucking mean that. So with the past 16 months, I actually, it's crazy. It's insane. So we did an Easter giveaway in terms of doing a 6 months free giveaway for $2,500 value. And it received over 230 comments on it. It had, it was insane. So I really just wanted, before I dived into talking about uncertainty and how to use it as a motivation and a couple perspective mindset shifts around it, I just want to say thank you to every single person that participated, every single person that's willing to even engage in a conversation about it. Because at the end of the day, living your life unapologetically is just an insane thing to do. And it's hard. And that's why I want to talk about uncertainty, right? And I wouldn't be in this position to give away a full 6 months coaching plan if I didn't face my uncertainty, if I didn't challenge my adversities, if I didn't do the things I literally want to talk about today, right? So I just want to say a massive thank you to every single person that participated, every single person that's been following me last little bit, anyone that's new recently within the last 2 or 3 months. Whatever it may be, whatever it is, I appreciate you, and I just want to let you know that. But let's dive right into it. So uncertainty is a feeling that can often hold us all back from pursuing our dreams and achieving our goals. It can create doubt, it can create fear, and to be honest, it's crazy because it can make us, no matter how confident we are in, no matter what field of work we're in, no matter what we're doing in our life, when we are faced with uncertainty, it makes us question our strongest abilities and all of our capabilities. It's crazy, but the biggest thing that I want to say is uncertainty can be used as a powerful motivator as well. It can help us push past ourselves, push past our comfort zones, get out of our whatever our regular routines are. It helps challenge ourselves to take risks and explore new opportunities. And that right there, I'm going to repeat it because that right there is the key of uncertainty that I want us to focus on, is that it can help us push ourselves out of our comfort zones and challenge ourselves to take risks and explore new opportunities, without having our foot against the wall and feeling those emotions of uncertainty of like, what if this, what if that, or the anxieties and stuff. We wouldn't mold, right? Like, pressure creates diamonds. So I just love it, right? So I want to just talk about like that key mental health, or not mental health, that mindset shift is it can help us push ourselves out of our comfort zones and challenge ourselves to take risks and explore new opportunities. This is very key. Because when faced with uncertainty, it's essential to remember that it's okay to not have the answers. I'm going to repeat that again as well, because for me personally, when I was battling a lot of uncertainty with certain things I was doing to get in the position that I'm in today, I always thought I needed to have a plan. I always thought I needed to know exactly what everything looked like at all times. If I'm going to free myself from a 9 to 5, what does that look like exactly? If I'm going to financially retire myself with this regard, what does this look like exactly? I want to have X amount of clients to be able to help them and serve them feel fulfilled. What exactly does that look like? And that was the biggest mental barrier that I had with uncertainty was you don't have to have the answers to them all. And that's what actually changed my life the most within the last 6 months was burning the boats. And burning the boats is a quote where it's like, you just go after whatever it is that you want in your life unapologetically and relentlessly, without any idea how you're going to get it, but you do understand what you're doing on a daily regiment and a daily day in and day out, you know that you're putting the effort into the right avenues of your life, that it will materialize eventually. And that's where it's key to have that mindset shift about uncertainty can push ourselves out of our comfort zone and get us to challenge ourselves, because with that, it pushes you to, for me at least, the uncertainty pushed me to go and burn my boats. And I had no fucking clue how I was going to get exactly where I'm at right now. But this is why I want to get into the next avenue of it. And the reason why I'm kind of rambling a little bit about that is because I want you to understand that with these subtle mindset shifts in terms of looking at uncertainty with a daunting negative emotion and looking at it from a perspective of opportunity, it can really change your time of life. So it's normal to feel unsure about the future. You know, it's sometimes it's like it's one of those things that's on all of our lives, you know, especially like I'm 28 years old. I'm gonna just turn 27. Like we're around that age, you know, especially anyone from 20 to 25. Like you're around those ages where you're really starting to like, you got to figure everything out, you know? So it's like, it's hard, uncertain. Like what does our future come? But sometimes the best thing we can do is embrace the unknown and focus solely on what we can control. And that's what I'm bringing this around to, is focusing solely on what we can control. We don't need to know how we're going to get to the next level ever. But we do need to know that every single day that we're going towards this goal, we're putting in the work on our daily disciplines to get there. And that's how you take an uncertain situation and create an impeccable confidence around your certainty that it's going to come. Because by shifting our focus away from what we cannot control, we can begin to focus on what we can control, such as our actions and our decisions. What are our actions and our decisions? The daily disciplines that you take pride in every single fucking day. The daily disciplines that you take pride in when you go to the gym, whether it's your workout program and making sure you warm up and cool down properly and hit your perfect extra compounds. Whether it's your nutrition, taking the time to understand macros, taking the time to understand what to cook, what not to cook, taking the time to increase that threshold standard of your caloric, of just your nutrition in general, you know, making sure you have healthy habits. Career-driven successes, you know what I mean? Whether it's in real estate, whether it's in any avenue of your career that you're in, you're taking pride in your daily disciplines to make sure you're successful. You get the new benchmark, you get the new sales quota, you get the new promotion. Even personal development and boundaries, personal self-help. Like if you're actively engaging in conversations with people that are constantly tearing you down or pressing your boundaries, making you not feel that you have a lot of self-worth, then all of these these things aren't going to aid into you getting success. You know what I mean? But if you're reading the self-help books, you're displaying the boundaries with your friends or family members in a healthy manner without malicious intent and be like, this is what I want to do. Do you support me or not? All of these are what we can't control when we are faced with uncertainty, you know? So this is how you create your certainty, is by honing in on the daily disciplines that you take pride in every single fucking day. The gym, the nutrition, the career-driven successes that you're going for, your aspirations, your personal development, your boundaries. All of these are what we can control and what we can handle and can make 100% of our focus on when we are faced with uncertainty. So I know I don't want to say, I know I make it sound easy and pretty like, oh, you're just kind of rambling and going off. But no, this is how you create your certainty. So how do we do this? So now these are my 2 actionable items of what I'd say about how we can create our own certainty. The rest of it with me just giving you a mindset, perspective shifts, and just understanding that uncertainty is a common denominator in our life. We can't not predict the future. We're never going to know what's going to happen, but we can control our actions and our day-to-day successes to ensure that we set ourselves up for the most optimal success. You know what I mean? When you go into school, no matter what you're doing, like when you're trying to study and get ahead in life, it's not about getting it perfect. That's why a lot of people let uncertainty crush them. Is they're like, it's got to be perfect. It's like, no, you got to make the first step. And then after you make the first step, you just now know that certainty is created by focusing on the steps. Uncertainty is created by sitting from a perspective of not knowing how to take a step and not making that step. That is the subtle motherfucking difference. So how do we do this? One way to use uncertainty as a motivation is to reframe it as an opportunity. I kind of talked about this a little bit, but not as definitive, but I want you to understand that. One way to use uncertainty as a motivation is to reframe it as an opportunity. Instead of focusing on the potential negative outcomes of a situation, like, oh my God, what if this doesn't happen? Or what if this happens? What if this, what if, whatever, we can start to view uncertainty as a chance for growth and development. By taking a positive approach to uncertainty, we can begin to see the potential benefits and possibilities that lie ahead. Rather than already getting into the door with a negative mindset, assuming that things are going to go wrong and set yourself up for failure, walk into any uncertainty that you have, no matter, and I talked about it, embracing the emotions and trusting that your body's going to get through that onto the other side. I don't know if you ever heard this quote about You're not supposed to be the same person when you get through the storm. That's the whole point of going through the storm. On the other side of that storm is who you're supposed to be in order to get you where you want to go. Now, the reason why I'm saying that is because that always reminds me of this exact situation. Is it's all about how your perspective is on it. You know what I mean? It's all about how your perspective is on it. And if you go into it a negative, kind of use the wrong quote, but if you go into it with a negative mindset, it's going to be negative. Sorry, that was the quote I wanted to use, or the analogy I wanted to use was if you think you're right, you're right. But if you think you're wrong, you're also right. And this is the exact same situation, right? Uncertainty is one of those common denominators around in our life. And if we want to choose to get anxious about everything, like, sure, we can. You know, I can be anxious, but what if I go to sleep tonight and I don't wake up? What if, that's a kind of a shitty one. I don't want to, anyways, I'm not going to go rant about anxiety. But all these different limitations we create in our head, right? So the first step to creating a certain future through uncertainty is ensuring that you have a positive fucking mindset, because it always starts with you, period. And number two is another way to use uncertainty as a motivation is to break down your goals into smaller, more manageable, and realistic steps. By setting small and achievable goals, you can start to build momentum and compound your confidence off of your successes. The reason that you want to do this is because then you can help alleviate some of your anxiety and stress that comes with uncertainty and provide a sense of direction and purpose. A prime example of this is when you're coaching my clients. I talk to every single one of my clients about compounding your confidence over time. Prime example is the Easter Giveaway Challenge winner. The winner, they win 6 months free coaching for the next every week for 6 months, literally. So over the next month, the first month with nutrition, it's always about building the small compounded wins to ensure that we see the level of success for a longevity purpose. What I mean by that is if you want to get into a program and cut 5 to 10 pounds quick, easy. Anyone can really crash diet that you follow, you'll get to it. But is it sustainable? No. Same with gaining weight, gaining muscle. A lot of these different practices aren't sustainable. So with this, by using small, manageable steps and small, manageable, guided accountability programming, is that we can compound confidence over a day-to-day period. So instead of day one looking at, oh my God, I have 6 months, like how am I gonna fucking do this? And then sit there in the anxiety-ridden state and be uncertain and not take any steps for the first 2 or 3 weeks, what we can do is be like, okay, cool. What can we do to make 1% better today, every single day? So then over the course of 352 days or 356 days, so over the course of the year, you get 356% better by taking that one small step a day and having micromanaged plans and goals versus being like, my goal is to gain X weight, or my goal is to do X, Y, and Z. I want to do it. Yes, no. It doesn't have to be it's all or nothing type mentality. It has to be broken down into small micro goals. Another example is me retiring myself, go move into Kelowna for 5 weeks and getting my business off the ground. Do you think 2 years ago I wanted to do it and I wanted to be like, hey, I want to work this, I want to make money online, and I want to have clients online, have a business, I want to do this. It wasn't just 1 and 2. It was 2 mentorship programs. It was countless hours of work. It was countless hours of digging and development. It was countless this. It was broken down into millions of micro steps, physically, emotionally, mentally, in like educational aspects. Like there's so many different avenues of it, you know? So the number 2 step is always to break it down into smaller goals, because it makes it way more manageable. You know what I mean? Like, especially when people are on fat loss journeys, they're like, oh, I want to lose 50 plus pounds of fat. It's like, and then they look at they weigh themselves every day and they're like, oh, this week I lost 0.3 pounds. And they're looking at the 50. 0.3 compared to 50 is a lot. You know what I mean? No different than if anyone that wants to retire themselves, like, I want to make $1 million. It's like, how much did you make last year? It's like 35,000. So it's like that's even saying that you can feel the negative energy. It's like, well, damn, 35 compared to $1 million. Like, holy shit, that's slow. But if you start small, you know what I mean? I want to lose 50 pounds. It's like, okay, let's start off with like, are you going to the gym? No. Okay, let's start with doing that. You go to the gym for 1 week, you don't lose no weight, but are you doing something that's actionable towards losing it? Yes? Cool. That's a success. That's a win. That's a compounded win. You do that for another 2 or 3 weeks. Okay, cool. You went to the gym. You started eating a little bit healthier. 2 avenues of your life that you weren't doing 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. So have you lost any weight? Yes, I lost 2 pounds. Okay, 2 compared to 50 still doesn't look that great. It still feels daunting. However, now we have compounded confidence from the last 2 to 3 weeks of us handling our business. No different than any other example when it comes to retiring yourself. You know what I mean? With the $1 million versus making $35,000 a year. How about you start off with smaller incremental goals? Like, let me make 50K. And then you're like, okay, cool. Last year I made 35. Okay, my salary at my job is this. I could take a bartending course and get a bartending job here, and I can make an extra 20 grand here. Cool. Based on the end of this year and this small step, me doing this, and this time next year I'll be at 55K. And then all of a sudden you go from 55K compared to 50K, you feel like a fucking winner. Because at the end of the day, you're still going towards the same goal of making that $1 million, but you can't squeeze a million years in an hour. The same 60 seconds that it is me talking to you right now is the same 60 seconds you're going to use tomorrow, contemplating whether you're uncertain about your future or you're certain about your future. And I choose the same 60 seconds that's going to benefit me in terms of walking. So, to finish off my goddamn motherfucking rant, because I'm feeling good. I just really like this doing the podcast. You know, I really want to bring more of not educational, I don't want to say, but more of like I don't know. I just want to be more of inspiring, I guess. You know, I do a lot of work behind the scenes. I do a lot of work. I work all the time. I have a lot of passion for my work. You know, I was up until 2, 3 last night. Got up at 6. Like, just, but I'm not saying this is the right way of doing things. I'm just saying I love my fucking job. So I'm just gonna wrap it up. I'm just gonna wrap it up before I start going to rants. You know, that's normally what I do. Uncertainty is a natural part of life. Okay, it's always gonna be there, regardless. You can choose to see it more often if you want, or you can choose to look at it in an opportunistic standpoint and flourish in your life more. You have this, like I said, the same 60 seconds, Use this 60 seconds to contemplate, or use this 60 seconds to take a step. It's always going to be there. So it's important we focus on how we respond to it, which will make all of the motherfucking world of the difference. So to reiterate to all you guys, so you don't forget the 2 steps, is number 1, reframe uncertainty as an opportunity and focusing on what we can control. I'm going to say it one more time. Reframe uncertainty as an opportunity to focus on what we can control. Your daily disciplines. Make sure you compound your confidence each week. So when people get in your way of your goals, even yourself, you say, no, motherfucker, I know what I'm doing on a daily basis. I've been doing it for X days, X months, X motherfucking years. Number 2, also breaking down your goals into smaller, manageable goals to compound your confidence for easier success. And also it alleviates all your motherfucking stress, because like I said, when you compare 0.3 pounds lost compared to 50, or you compare $35,000 a year compared to $1 million, it's daunting. You can feel it. You're like, oh, I have so much to go. But if you break that down into smaller goals and to build, like, let's lose 1 pound first, and so 0.3 to 1 pound feels a hell of a lot better than 0.3 pound to 50 pounds. And same thing with 35K. Let's make a smaller goal to break 50K. Because then when you break 50K, 55K, like the example I just used, you feel like a hell of a lot more winter. And that's when we can get into the conversation of momentum, the law of momentum, which will be another motherfucking podcast episode. Because momentum loves speed. That's what they say. You know, once you start winning, you win more. You know, they say losers lose, winners win. It's because momentum is the key behind that. But other than, appreciate you guys all. I appreciate you guys taking the last 15, 20 minutes to listen to my motherfucking rant. And other than that, have a blessed motherfucking week. Take this energy into the week. And remember, the 60 seconds is going to pass whether you want it to or not. You can either do it, be feeling uncertain, and be crippled by the anxiety, or you're going to break your goals down into more manageable micro steps, and then change the uncertainty into a view of opportunistic opportunity, and change your motherfucking life. Let's motherfucking go. Let's get it.